TIFU 10 years later by hanging an eyehook for sexy time above my bed. Got a divorce around middle age. I have kids and get a week-on-week off custody. Decide almost immediately that I'm going to insert an eyehook above my bed so I can truss up future girlfriends for kinky sex, spread my wild oats, etc. Big, strong, welded eye bolt right into stud. You could wrap hell from it, it was that strong. Kids aren't allowed into my bedroom, and I ended up using it successfully on my next two girlfriends. Life is good. A year or so later, my 5-year-old kid gets sick on my watch. She's lying in bed watching my TV, only one in the house. I struggled a bit after the divorce. And notice the hook. Asks what it's for. I can't say plants because I don't own any, so I blurt out it's for a sky chair. Her eyes get wide and she's super excited to sit and swing while sick, in sky chair while hanging a few inches over the bed. So, being a good dad, I get the hanging chair from outside and make some adjustments, and kiddo is over the moon. She's so happy that every time she comes over, she wants to watch TV in the sky chair. I put a carabiner on it, and after a few years, she can hook it up herself. FFWD2 today. Same kiddo just turned 18. We have moved across country to be with my current wife in a new house. I'm removing a weird built-in desk in the corner of our kitchen. Kids want a reading book, so I'll install a bench by the window and some shelves, and bam, we'll have a nook. Cool. While brainstorming with the family, my daughter says, "Ooh, I know you could hang an eyehook up there so we could hang the sky chair in the nook. You know, an eyehook like you had right above your bed at the old house?" New wife looks at me with a very concerned and confused face. I now have some explaining to do as I get the stud finder for the new hook. TLDR, hang hook for sexy time over my bed. Kid sees it, I tell her it's for a sky chair. 10 years later, she wants a hook, just like the one you had above your bed at the old house, in new remodel area. Have to explain whole story to new wife. TIFU, by pointing out that my boss is obviously using ChatGPT. I, 27M, am a creative director at a marketing agency. My boss, 32M, I'll call him Vince, is the co-owner of our company. English isn't our native language where we live and work, and Vince has always been a bit insecure with his communication skills. For additional context, I have a strong background in copywriting and copy editing, so I know I sometimes make Vince feel even more self-conscious whenever we need to communicate in English. Despite this, Vince and I have a pretty friendly relationship for a boss and employee. We only have a 5-year age gap, and we'll joke around about personal stuff sometimes, like when I tease him for sleeping on the couch after working late and irritating his wife. Or when he gives me a hard time whenever I pick terrible gifts for my GF. It's all in good fun. We've even hung out outside of work. Vince scored some courtside tickets to a basketball game last year and invited me along. So all this to say, we're friendly but still maintain professionalism. However, last month Vince has obviously started using AI to write things like birthday messages, work anniversary, greetings, congratulatory notes when someone lands a new client, etc. on our company Slack. I noticed the change immediately. He used to just write quick 5-word greetings, but suddenly they were these 10-sentence formal messages using words and phrases Vince would never actually use. Last Monday, we had a working lunch at my office to discuss the deck I had just completed for an upcoming client meeting. Then, as we were wrapping up, Vince asked me casually if I'd noticed him putting in more effort with his messages lately. And like an idiot, instead of just agreeing politely, I made some joke and said, yeah, looks like ChatGPT has been doing some heavy lifting lately." Vince immediately got defensive and started ranting about how dare I call him out. There's nothing wrong with using ChatGPT for work stuff. It's efficient and helps him communicate better in English, blah, blah, blah. I tried to backtrack and say I didn't mean any offense. I agree there's nothing wrong with using ChatGPT in moderation. I was just trying to give some friendly feedback that maybe he could use better prompts and customize the output a bit to sound more natural coming from him. But at that point, Vince was too pissed off, called me an asshole, the equivalent in our native language, and stormed off. Of course, I didn't want the incident to damage our relationship long term. Vince had been an amazing mentor and friend to me. I'd hate for some dumb joke to ruin the mutual respect we have for each other. So, later that day, I just came to Vince's office and apologized. He simply smiled and said it was fine. However, the entire week, he had been giving me the cold shoulder. We only interacted when discussing work. I tried making jokes about other stuff, but he's not acknowledging them. Also, since then, he has gone back to his usual 5-word greetings. I fear that I might have just ruined the healthy work environment over that stupid joke. TLDR. I told my boss, who's insecure about his English communication, that he's been obviously using ChatGPT lately. He got upset and storms off, calling me an asshole. I apologized, but he has been giving me the cold shoulder ever since. TIFU by underestimating hot chicken. On Friday night, my wife and I went to a new Thai restaurant in our area. I got some cow soy and had a choice between medium and hot spiciness. I've really been on a spicy food kick lately, but I know that as a white dude, what I think is spicy probably doesn't even come close to spicy for other cultures. So I picked the medium. It was absolutely delicious, but not even a little bit spicy. Fast forward to Saturday, and we decide to try a new hot chicken restaurant for lunch. They have levels of spice, so trying to be a little brave, I go for hot, which was level 3-5. Huge mistake. First few bites go okay, but I can feel the heat building on my lips and tongue. Water does nothing. I start sweating from my scalp. Flavor is incredible, but this shit is fucking hot. I make it through my tenders, though, and sweat the whole car ride home. After about 4 hours, my stomach still feels hot, but I have to go on my run. A little ways into my run, I burp, and my lungs immediately feel like they're on fire. I can't breathe, start coughing everywhere. Have to stop for 5 minutes to try to clear this shit out of my system. Happens 2 more times on my run. Absolutely miserable. This morning, I wake up at 6 a.m. to the worst cramping in my intestines. It feels like the fiery hands of Satan himself are wrapped around my colon. I've been glued to the toilet since then. It feels like lava is coming out of me. I fear this may be the end. Send help and heed my warning. Do not underestimate hot chicken. It will destroy you with no remorse. TLDR, I ordered hot chicken and it absolutely wrecked my insides for 18 hours straight. TIFU by helping my uncle. Happened just a few hours ago and I was contemplating posting or not. But I need to get this out and IDK who to tell. My uncle is selling his treadmill and isn't very savvy when it comes to putting stuff online. I told him to take a few photos of it and I'll stop by after work and help him post. When I get there, he hands me his phone. I go on Kijiji to post the treadmill. When I go for the photos, the very first picture after the treadmill was a dick pic. I pretended that I didn't see it and continued to help him. Once it was posted, I made up an excuse that I needed to stop and get some groceries, so I needed to leave right away. When I got to my car, I just sat there. I'm a grown adult and have received many dick pics, but I never ever wanted to see that one. I didn't want most of the ones I got either, but that's beyond the point. TLDR. Helped my uncle post his treadmill on Kijiji and saw his dick pic. TIFU by getting high and watching the Clone Wars. Yesterday I had a free afternoon and decided to rip my Benjamin and just chill. All was going well and I was sufficiently wigged out. Until I remembered I still had the last 3 episodes of the Clone Wars TV show to watch. So far it has been amazing and I couldn't wait to see how such a masterful and impactful series was brought to a close. Boy, was I unprepared and it fucked me up good. It was so emotional on its own, let alone me watching it from Planet Zog. It's now the day after and I still can't shake this weird feeling in my stomach and I can't stop thinking about the show. Need advice, potentially. Despite all this, it was fucking beautifully bittersweet and tear-jerking in the moment. Definitely one of the best prices of Star Wars media ever. TLDR. Watch the finale of the Clone Wars show while baked and can't get it out of my head. TIFU by embarrassing myself while being diet mugged. I embarrassed myself while getting beat up and robbed 20 years ago. I got robbed in the smallest state in the US, and it was one of the most embarrassing things in my life. I told this yesterday and couldn't stop laughing. I've been robbed many times in my life, mostly as a kid/teenager. It's honestly weird how often in my life I have been robbed. It's like I'm addicted to it. This one takes the cake, and I still cringe when I think of it. I was at my friend Dan's house. I ate an orange. His trash can was full, so his mom told me not to put my peels in a full can. So into my pocket they went. Dan and I played some video games and then went to go do reckless adolescent things outside in the neighborhood. We're riding our bikes well into the night because we're cool dudes and streetlight rules don't apply to us. We are being raised by single moms. They can't tell us what to do. We're boys. We come home after it's dark, eat candy at night, spray paint things, and run away when we're caught, and swear. We were basically adults, riding up a road by a popular public pool, 4 teenagers block the road. When you're 11, 14-year-olds may as well be 25-year-olds. The main kid, total piece of shit, named Ronnie, was in my grade but was absolutely held back a few years because he was a grade A stupid face. I was immediately nervous. He had some facial hair, dressed kind of scummy, smoked cigarettes, and was having the sex. Ronnie was bad news, and here he was, under the cover of night with his scumbag friends, blocking my path. Dan was about 15 feet in front of me because he tried to ride past them, and it didn't work. Because of course it didn't, Dan. Be real. One of the merry band of scumbags walked to Dan. 3 descended on me like vultures to carry on. I was afraid. A scumbag asked me if I wanted some trees. Now I was wise to this. I knew it meant weed. My mom had a few boyfriends, all of them lumberjacks, if you catch my drift. So I tried to be cool. However, if you knew me at 11, you know that I was, in fact, not cool. I would love to buy your trees. I don't have any money, though. If I did, I swear I'd buy all of it. Can't get enough. It didn't work. They asked if I was going to snitch, to which I let out a laugh and was like, psh. Of course not. I don't snitch. I promise I won't snitch. I won't tell anyone. Ronnie chimes in and says, we're gonna make sure of it. Yeah, pretty ominous. So they start kicking my ass in the middle of the road. I am standing with my bike between my legs. So I'm basically a living heavy bag in a circle of assholes. I get hit and sway into the next punch, which moves me to the next punch. It's just plainly a bad time. And then it got worse. So much worse. Ronnie stops hitting me and his scumbag goons follow his direction. He tells me to empty my pockets. Now, I've been robbed before, so I'm hip to this jive. I cup my keys and my phone in my left hand in my pocket when I turn it out so they can't see it. It worked. They didn't check my back pockets because we're kids in 2000 and that's gay apparently works for me. Now it's time for the right pocket. Oh no, the orange peels. I turn out my right pocket and I'm fucking mortified. Orange peels start tumbling to the ground in a silent ballet of shame. It was so fat of me. To just carry orange peels and for my pocket peels to be revealed in such a way. The scumbags notice the orange peels. Ronnie shouts, this kid has fucking orange peels in his pocket. And then, they resume kicking my ass while laughing hysterically at me. It was so painfully embarrassing. The hits stopped hurting and just felt really warm when they landed. Eventually they stopped, I don't know why, but they got bored, I guess. They just walked away like none of that happened and I didn't exist to them anymore. So I started to ride towards my house. I was gonna go home and listen to my mom. I'm changing my life. To hell with street life. No more candy after dark. Dan waited for me to catch up to him and said, wow, I can't believe they beat you up for so long. I would have kicked their asses. Mind you, this big chin shaggy blonde MF just watched me get my ass kicked 15 foot away and just was like, wow, the sky is really pretty tonight. I'ma watch the stars. As I'm bleeding in the road. So I said, fuck you, Dan, and went home. This is not my only bad experience with citrus, and we'll share another story later. TLDR. I got jumped, and when they ran my pockets, all they found were orange peels and all of my self-respect. Please like and subscribe for more daily content.